Live. Hello, everyone.
Hello. How are you? Hello.
Oh,
How are
shit,
you?
I
Do
think
we
I
are we
have.
just waiting for a few more people?
Yeah, I guess no one is here yet, but
Yeah, so guys, just say is the sound okay? You just let us know so we know all the mics are working
yeah.
properly. Second. Okay, so hi John, how are you? Sounds good. So that's not good. What game are we going to start from, Diana?
Okay, so I guess we can start with the under sevens. Well, here I have the under nine girls, I think.
Okay, so let's start
Let
under
me just
9
refresh.
girls.
Yeah, so this is under nine girls, and Anne Sophie, who is representing Romania, is on 4.5 out of 5.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh
and
yes, I see. So there's 10 player. Is it 10 players in that section?
yeah. Um,
Perfect.
and wait, let me just pull up the
Hi, Waterfall Wizard. How are you?
standings. So, girls under nines that we just had up. There are 2 players on 4.5 out of 5. So Anne Sophie and Ermac.
Okay, so that's quite tight. Yes, we can see that it's shared second place at the moment, and we have also a representative from Ireland, Madhu Koshi.
Yeah, and she's on 1. She got her first win.
Oh,
Um,
that's in what
against
round?
Bjork. I think she. I'm not 100% sure. Let me just check. But she won against the Icelandic player, who. I guess all the pairings have already been
Oh yeah, I
played.
can see in the round 3. Yes, she won. What? Oh yeah.
Yeah, she won in round 3. So hopefully, Ari actually missed a win yesterday. I think, if I remember correctly.
Okay. And there's also a representative from Poland, I see.
Yeah.
And yours is from Romania as well, on the first place. So we are. Let me just have a look at the result at the pairings for today round. So Arya is actually playing with Melania Kristina, and then Helena with Kesser Irmark, and then which game are we going to have a look? And Sophie and Bjerta.
Yeah, that's.
Perfect.
I just put that up. But also she's playing the collar, which is my favorite opening. So it's good to
Uh,
see that.
what openings?
The
Say again.
collar. She's playing the collar. So
Okay, let's have a
d4,
look.
and she'll just develop her pieces in the same way that I always develop my pieces as well. So she'll bring
Let
her
me
knight to
just
d.
find the games.
Oh,
Hold on, I gotta be lost on
wait, I'll
the
send you the link.
with our games, and I'm
Um,
just going to post something on social media in the meantime. Oh yeah, we've got a game. Perfect.
Hey, Waterford Wizard, Lamprocles, and Falgrey. Hey, Senti. I hope you're all good.
And I'm just going to post it. A smile, Diana. Hello. There's actually a bit of a delay. I can see
Yeah,
that.
I know.
I was waiting a few seconds for your smile. Okay, let me just post it, and then we can. Oh, hello, Sente. Hi, of course I remember how to stream. So we have a few people over here, and I just want to say we are commentating on the European Schools Chess Championship 2024 that take place in Limerick in Ireland. So we're just going to start today from the group girls under 9 years old. And we're going to have a look at their games first, and then we're going to move on some higher boards as well. So we can, guys, feel free to just, have a look. We're going to try our best to commentate together. Diana was already commentating on the previous round, so fair play to her. She was doing 2 rounds yesterday, so she streamed for 10 hours. I don't know how you did that, but yeah, today it's a little bit easier compared to the previous day.
Yeah, and it's good to have company as well. So if anyone also wants to watch any games, you can let us know. Well, I guess at the start they're going to be a little bit slow because of the openings, but also you can choose to, if you have. We can have a look at the Polish players. I think there's one girl, Maria, who is leading in a different section. Wait, let me double check.
Hi, Glenn. Hi, how are you? Hello, Shahista. Yes, we're going to have a look at one game of the Polish player that is leading in her section. I'm not sure which section that's yet, but let's have a look. I think.
Okay, I guess she's tied first.
Oh, in the section under the 17,
yeah.
G17.
Yeah.
Oh yes, Krzysztońska Maria. Yeah, we can have a look at that game as well. And we have Lara in our Lara in that section. So she's also tied on the first. There's 5 players tied on the first place, so that's going to be very tight. We definitely have to have a look at those games. But you can see the huge difference though, because the first 5 people have 4 points, and then the 6th person has 1/2. So it must be really tight.
Yeah, all the pairings are already done, because there are only 10 players, so
it's like round robin.
Yeah, you can prepare like ahead for your final round.
Yeah, true. Exactly. You can already have all your openings prepped.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah, no, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, like, I think yesterday or the day before she was the sole leader, but she lost. She lost in the third. No, there are 2 Marias from Poland.
It's a popular name.
Yeah. I think she lost yesterday's round, so that's why. But she was sole leader. She lost in round 5, but before that she was the sole leader. So now everyone is tied.
Yeah, well, we'll have a look at those games as well. Waterford, are my alerts switched off? I'm not sure how to turn it on now when we do the restream, to be honest.
Yeah, mine also don't come up.
Okay, so how is the game going so far? Anything exciting, or is it just the preparation going on?
Well, the Polish girl Maria actually played Scandinavian. She's been playing that so far in the tournament, and so far, I mean, I guess it's just a normal Scandinavian position. She's probably preparing to castle queenside. Maybe White will kick away her bishop a little bit, but otherwise I think... Yeah, I think...
Yeah, there's still a lot can happen in that game.
Yeah.
Always those first 15 moves are kind of... it's like... I always used to say the first 15-20 moves, it's coaches are playing, and then you can see the actual players after that moment. when they show a bit more of their creative skills.
Yeah, unless some of the players deviate out of preparation, then it's still them. They have to come
Yes,
up with.
exactly. Okay, perfect. I'm just going to grab a link and I'm going to post on social media. 1 second.
Okay, so in the Open Under 17s, there is still the same sole leader as yesterday. Tarhan is on 4.5, and he's playing against Yunus, who's on 3. So he's avoiding the IM since he's already played against him. And I'm not going to say that he has like an easy rest of the tournament, but I think he doesn't have many challengers for the rest of the tournament because everyone seems to be much lower rated. But Yunus has the white pieces, so he does have maybe some chances. Even a draw could set him back because his teammate Ere is also on 4, so any half a point can set him back.
And is he? What group is he playing?
Just in the under 17s.
The under 17s. Okay. I'm just trying to get used to those groups. Oh yeah, I already have it. Okay, that didn't take me too long. And the player you just talked about, his name is
Adar or Tarhan. He's he's playing against Yunus Yildiz from Germany.
Okay, I've got it. Perfect. Yes, they're higher rated players. They seem very strong, and they drew in the. So they draw the previous game, or
yesterday's morning game. The two IANs played against each other, but it was a prearranged draw. They drew
that's right. Okay.
Yeah, I mean they drew after 5 minutes, and it was like he sacrificed his queen, and then it was a perpetual check. So it was definitely decided.
Okay. And today he's playing against Adar. So. Just going through the opening. Oh yeah, I see that they played Ruy Lopez. Are we looking at the diagram or are we focusing on the girls that just have it?
Yeah, the Ruy Lopez.
Looking. Yeah, the Ruy Lopez, yes. See a bit of pawn storm on the queen side as well.
Yeah. So the most popular openings so far in this tournament have been, at the start it was Sicilian, then Ruy Lopez, then like E5 I guess, but also a lot of Italian games, a lot of Gioco Pianos have been played.
And were there a lot of Scandinavians?
Well, only from, I don't know if someone other than Maria has played it, but she's been the main one that has been playing it.
I would say that probably our Irish players played a lot of French.
Yeah,
we have
true.
Gavin and
that's
we have
true.
Lara and who else is there that I know definitely plays French. I don't know what's the story with the French, but like all Irish players seem to know it.
I don't know why. I think Luke has a big influence because
on some of them.
Yeah. So Gavin isn't playing here, but his brother Ben is playing.
Gavin's playing. Ben is playing. Okay. Yeah. But he also plays French.
Yeah, but and he also played it even in this round right now. He's playing. He's got the French. Yeah.
So yeah, this is.
Thanks to Coffin.
100%. The French is very popular. Yeah, I would say that Luke Scott definitely had an influence on that. But Lara, I don't know where we speak of the French, but a lot of players. I played a lot of them against the French.
Yeah, I'm not sure either where Lara. Has she always played the French? I'm not 100% sure. I know she always played Grunfeld against D4. Maybe I'm dreaming, but I thought she played the Caracan as well. But maybe she did actually always play the French.
Did she play Scandinavian or if I'm wrong?
Did she? I don't know.
I don't know now. See, I don't remember all my preps, but I do remember the French. Definitely the French.
Yeah.
It's always. I think probably that'll be the most popular opening I play against in Ireland. Like a lot, so many players play the French.
Yeah.
Did you ever play the French?
No, never. I played it one time, but it was only preparation.
Okay, so it was a little surprise.
Yeah, but I've never. I never was a fan of it. I mean, I always enjoyed playing against it.
Yes, anyone in the chat is fan of the French opening, guys?
Waterford Wizard plays it.
So just one question. Sorry, one thing.
Yeah.
Diana, apparently my audio is.
Yeah, I fixed it.
Oh, you fixed it.
I think.
So just for everyone new on my channel that came in to have a look, I just want to say we are commentating on the European Chess Championship that take place in Limerick. So we're looking at all the different groups from girls and boys under 9 and under 17. So we're going to commentate on lots of different games. If you have a player that you support and you really want to look at the game, just put the message on my or Diana's chat and there's no problem. We can happily have a look at these games as well. And if there are any audio issues, also let us know and we can send you the links if you want to follow the game yourself or if you want to look at the results as well.
Yeah, actually you can add, I have a command, you can add it as well to, 1 second, maybe one of your mods can add it.
Yeah, maybe we can add as well.
You can edit it. However you
Which
like.
Instagram do you want me to tag on Diana, the chess girly or?
Yeah, you can, I mean you can tag both I guess.
Actually, true. And I see you as well.
So actually I think there's a player's parent in the chat, Dragos. I forgot which section he's playing in, but he is representing Romania. Okay, so he's actually in under 13s open. And there are 4 players on 4 out of 4. So let's have a look at Dragos's
Okay,
game.
let's have a look. And I'm just posting and just did a link as well. Hi, HBBad, how are you? And one of my chatters says a lot of those Irish kids with Polish names. Don't think there is, actually. Maybe there's one. Is there?
There's one player who's called Nepomniachtchi, but I think he's from Ukraine.
Oh, okay.
And there's Cornelius, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, that sounds like Polish name.
Yeah, I got it. His name, Cornelius Barczak. I think he's Polish.
Oh. And there was a question why ICU is not live. Well, maybe we'll fix it for tomorrow, but for now we're just going to keep it on both of our channels. Unfortunately, it was a bit quiet on that account as well, but hopefully we'll get a bit busier. We just created the ICU account, so that's you can actually follow. Can we do a shout out to the ICU new account and make sure you leave a follow and want to grow that account as well for the future.
Yeah. There you go. Shout out to the Irish Chess Union channel. It's because Restream only limits us to 2 accounts, and it's better that we both have our channels live so that we have as much. Yeah, as much interaction.
We will fix that maybe in the future. We'll have a look.
Wait, I'll send you the link. Okay, this is the game that I have up now. So Dragoš is on 4 out of 5, and so is his opponent. There are 4 players on 4 out of 4, so this is an important round. He's playing against Esat Tuna from Turkey. A lot of Turkish players have come to this tournament.
A lot of Turkish players. What's the biggest federation in the entire event, do you think?
I think it's Turkey.
Okay, will be bigger than
Well,
Ireland?
I actually think it could be. In some sections there, in the girls 17 there are 3 Turkish, 4 Icelandic and 1 Irish. Then there's a lot of Icelandic in the bottom sections. But then also in the girls 9 there are 3 Turkish and only 1 Irish. Okay, I guess in the open there are a lot more Irish, but I think it's close. So probably the Irish Federation is the highest. Wait, I can tell you exactly.
I tagged you there on Instagram if you want to reshare it.
Thank you.
Well, when you have a moment. No.
Okay, I think there are 32 Irish players, and there are. Okay, yeah, it's not really that close. I think there are only 10. Well, no, are there only 10? I think maybe there are only 10 Turkish players. It looked like a lot more. Yeah, okay, the Irish Federation is the highest, is the biggest.
Do we already have the Streamlabs isn't working right? Okay, yes, because I need the command in my chat, so let me just quickly solve it, and that should be fine. I don't think you will hear the sound alerts today on my channel, but that's okay.
Hey Kyo, and also congratulations from yesterday. Kyo got married yesterday. I hope you had a great day. And the pictures were really nice as well. Why so few countries participate? Well, it's not such a big tournament. I guess the European schools maybe isn't as popular as the European youths, but I'm not really sure why. Like, I've never played in the European schools. Actually, I didn't even know there was one until I was told that Ireland was going to host it.
Oh, I think I played the world one.
Yeah.
Sure. There was one in Krakow at some stage. I don't remember, but it wasn't my best tournament.
It wasn't, or it was?
No, it wasn't. I tried to erase from the memory.
Oh.
But it was a great experience to meet all the players.
Yeah, it was the opposite for me. It was probably my best tournament that I've played, the World Schools. But I've never heard of the European schools. Some of the kids are running around. I'm not sure if, let me just see if, I don't think any games have finished already. I would be surprised if they did. Okay, we already have a game where it's gonna finish now any second.
Okay, which game is that?
Wait, I'll send you the link on Discord. It's under 7 girls, and so actually it will be good for RV to get. I think RV is representing Ireland, so RV is playing against Ireland against Iceland. She's playing against Loa from Iceland, and she's on 1 point, so it will be nice for her to get another win. And she has an hour and 30 minutes on the clock. An hour and 33 even.
But yeah, it must be hard for those kids to like focus on their moves a lot. Because I remember I used to like blitz out my moves sometimes as well.
Yeah,
So definitely. And then have a look at the king. The
I
king has a
know.
little journey. The
Yeah.
king on its own trip. But it might be an interesting checkmate now. So this is a very interesting moment because we'll see how are the checkmating skills.
Yeah. Also, I've noticed a lot of the kids forget that pawns can take diagonally because that's how she lost her queen as well. After the pawn
Oh
took on
no.
d5, she just didn't see her queen was attacked. But this has happened a lot in this tournament. Um, but Arvi is playing really well. So, yeah, our king, I think, is going to get checkmated any second now. There's only one move, king b3, and now she just has to figure out this route, queen e8 to b5.
Hi, Rob, Bean Chess. Hello, hello, hello. We've got an Irish chatter as well. So, just a reminder, we are watching the European Chess Championship. If you have a player that you want us to follow the game, let us know in the chat. Yes, Big Robert in the chat. Hello, hello. Pawn takes diagonally. Some of the chatters also don't know that, Diana. So we're not allowed to laugh at people that don't know it. It doesn't matter. It's still good to play though, because I think it's nice to have your first tournament, and everyone made some mistakes at the beginning of their games. What was your
Yeah.
first biggest mistake on the? Do you remember one of your first chess tournaments?
Well, yeah, I mean, I remember like a lot of bad losses where I was winning and then I just end up like blundering, but I remember um I one of my first tournaments was Galway Chess Congress, and my dad told me like he already wrote the opening that I should play. Like he told me where to develop my pieces, and he wrote it on the score sheet. So I went into the game having the score sheet, and and then my opponent like played something that wouldn't be good for me to like develop my bishop to c4, let's say, and I can't remember exactly what it was, but I think it was something like that. And I was too scared to play a move that wasn't written on the score sheet.
Oh,
So
yeah.
So I ended up playing the move even though I knew the pawn would just take my piece and I would just give away a piece. But it was, yeah, when I was younger, I was playing more like to out of pressure rather than me thinking for myself.
It is a huge pressure when you actually have to write your moves at the beginning, because I remember I would make a lot of mistakes and then my opponent would make a lot of mistakes, and
Yeah.
I couldn't ask for the score sheet to fix it, and we just stopped writing the moves at some point. And there's always a one person that will have a look at your score sheet and you will report you to the arbiter and say,
Really?
yeah, there was that one guy. And it
What?
was like an adult man, and I think he was a coach of one of the other players, so he reported us to the arbiter that we didn't write our moves, and I was almost crying at that point because I was
No
not
way.
and we had to somehow fix it. So I think we just put the random moves, and then start continuing from that moment because I was so stressed out.
Oh my
So
god.
I know, but that stuff like that happens. But that was like, I think it was 9. It wasn't my first tournament, but it was the
Yeah.
beginning of me writing the moves. But my very very first game was when I remember the arbiter actually came over and stopped our game and said that it's a draw because we both ran out on time. There was a girl I was playing, and both of our kings were on check. So he was just like,
Oh
"Girls, it was a great game, but let's do a draw. What do you think?" so,
no
so
way.
yeah, exactly. So we drew.
Oh what? That's so funny. Yeah, I wonder what an arbiter would do now if they saw two kings being in check because, yeah, that is kind of
Yeah, I know. It was
Weird
very, it was
situation.
very interesting. Sorry. Rob says, I'd like to make sure my games can never be recorded in any database by ensuring my moves are eligible. Oh, well, I don't think they would. They probably would just stop and say that it was too hard to read the score sheet.
Yeah, and also your
think-
opponent is taking it down too, so they can just read it from them.
Yes. Dzień dobry. We've got a Polish viewer as well. Good morning. It's not morning, it's like afternoon, but for some people it's morning.
Waterfall is also asking, do you see anyone in the live feed that you might recognize?
Say again?
Do you see anyone in the live feed that you might recognize? Like in the live coverage in the video.
Oh, yeah. I haven't even looked at it. I think it's hard to recognize.
You definitely
At least
know
for
who
me.
that is.
Do I?
Yeah, it's Ivan.
Oh yeah, okay.
Ivan.
Oh, yeah, I didn't. Okay, that's fun. Yes, that's our main Irish arbiter.
Yeah. Yeah, there he is. He's been
Oh
called
yeah,
up.
it is Ivan, exactly. For people that don't know who Ivan is, he's actually a son of Irish chess champion. But he's very famous in Ireland for being the most important arbiter in a way. He just he's always on the most important events.
Yeah, I mean he's always just like I think he's the only really, well, not the only competent arbiter that we have, but the main. I think probably one of the only competent arbiters that we have in Ireland.
I think it's being improved at the moment. It's not that we're putting the shade on our Irish arbiters. I think there's gonna be more because there are some courses, so there's gonna be hopefully more. But yes, it is the arbiter that since I'm in Ireland like 7-8 years. So my first tournament was around 7 years ago, and I remember Ivan since that day. He was almost on on like 90% of the tournaments he played. He was there. Yeah,
that's true. We have Jerry as well. Like for me, Jerry was the Ivan of because Jerry's from Limerick, so I mainly played in Munster, in Limerick, and around like Cork or Galway. I guess Galway is not in Munster, but mostly in the south west side.
And we also have Ronan now.
Yeah, that's true. But he's only new, and he's not so much like chief arbiter.
No, maybe not yet. Oh, sorry. I was meant to fix my Streamlabs, but my brain just forgot about it for a second. One moment.
Also, we have a checkmate on the board. So our first mate of the game, Queen E7, checkmate. The king came all the way to E1.
Gosh. Let me just have a look at it quickly. Oh, how did that happen? God, that's a nice game. Oh, that way. Okay, so the king goes on D4.
Yeah, so our first checkmate. Well done to RV who has gotten 2 wins, so she can rest for the rest of the day.
There's still, how many games are left? Is it
3?
So
well, including this one, I guess.
Okay.
So 9, 2 after this. 9 rounds, and we're in round 6 now. Also, I sent you a list with, these are the players that the parents want to, I guess their parents are watching the stream. So we can look at some of those games. Okay, I'll hydrate. Um, okay, so we can start with Sayanch, who is playing in the Open under 11s. We also have some girls representing the girls, I guess, in the Open sections, which is nice.
Warrior in my chat says that this is a very serious chess stream. Master Mirza, what did you say, Master? And candidate Master Gora, and with professional commentary. Yes, I'm a candidate master, but in my own country that I don't represent anymore, so I don't think that counts. I think I'd say my title disappeared. I don't know how that works actually.
It's interesting because same in Romania as well. Emma has the WCM in Romania, but but it's not official from FIDE, which is weird.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. It wouldn't be official in Poland either.
But you got it from junior events or how?
No, just from the Open events. But
Oh.
we actually have our own like categories that you gain according to the rating, the performance rating you get, and then the candidate was just before becoming the like master, like before WCM, I think.
Oh, okay. But you're not. I guess you need 20. You need 2,000 to get WCM.
Yeah, so I think I achieved 2000 as a performance rating or something, and you had to do a few norms for that. So then you were getting a little K, like for a candidate in Poland. But
Yeah.
that was like long time ago, so I wouldn't really.
Yeah, but I mean, like the official candidate, you're not too far away from it anyway. Like
It seems so, but in practice,
but you don't play that much. If you played a lot more, like you would definitely get it.
Play more than before, I guess. So.
Okay, so this is Sayanch, who is playing in the under 11s, and let me just see the standings. Okay, so there are there's one sole leader who is on 4.5 from Turkey. The Turkish players are leading most of the sections. They came in with all the top players.
Well, they came all the way, so I guess it's nice to see.
Yeah.
At least some of them are doing well. I can also see the Polish player there.
Yeah. Adam. Who's on 3.5, same as Sayanch from Ireland. So. Okay. He's threatening knight c7, and I don't see how black can stop it. White is threatening knight c7, so I think Sayanch needed to defend this after e5. I actually don't know if this is savable anymore. E5 was the mistake that he made. He should just develop his knight, or maybe just play d6, because then after knight b5, well, then you can also just play knight f6. So as long as you have your knight on f6, you don't allow knight to d5, but now this is a problem. So
the d5, okay. Oh yes, that is the problem.
Yeah.
Guys, do you remember what this is called? The d5 square. Who in the chat knows? Coach Tosh, just turn on for a second. Come on, guys. What's the d5 square called? Dan, you should know. Rob, you should obviously know it. It's called Oh No for Black. Yes, I do mean outpost. Congratulations, you pass your chess test. You get an official title from Tosh. That's what I teach my students always. Oh, sorry, no, that wasn't Dan, I guess. That was Martin. So this is a game of. What have you sent me the link to that, or what? If you just tell me what
wait.
it is,
So I'm going in order of these players. The list that I sent.
Oh, the one that you
Yeah.
sent me. Okay, that makes sense.
And yeah, so it looks like Sanj is gonna have a tough game here. I don't think he can stop the knight from coming to c7, and then after that his king is gonna be quite weak. So
Okay.
yeah, so in the next games he needs to review this this e5 move. Instead of that, if he just plays knight f6, he should be okay.
Hello, Adam, in Diana stream. Hi.
Hey Adam, how are you doing? I hope you're good. What today's temperature is. So yesterday Adam experienced 55-degree temperature. Can you believe that? Have you ever experienced that before?
55. That's very warm. But you didn't add the Celsius or the.
Yeah, Celsius. I've never experienced that before. Like maximum I've experienced is maybe 40, 42 or something.
Yeah. Also, hello in my chat. We also have a guest over there. Sorry, just 1 second. Night be free and breaking away. Are we back? Well, I'm back today and for next 3 days. Am I correct? For a commentary on European School Chess Championship that are actually placed in Ireland at the moment. So we're just going through different games, but feel free to take part in the chat. We always happy to answer any questions.
Yeah, and often we have some puzzles that where there are some tactics and things like that, and we want the chat to answer.
Exactly. Yes, this is gonna be educational stream now. Yeah, now we have to test the chat and see their skills.
Yeah.
See, I've been teaching more now than I've been streaming for like last few months. So in my head, I'm still feeling like I'm talking to the students.
Well, that's good. Then you can teach us some things.
So all the pawn structures, guys.
Okay, so this is Advic's game. I've sent you the link on Discord.
Okay.
So we have a Sicilian, which I also played this c4 against c5, but usually it's to avoid main Sicilian theory.
Oh God.
Yeah.
See, now you told me. I'm the Sicilian player.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I do like the Sicilian. I like playing against Sicilian too, I think.
Yeah. I think it depends which
depends.
Sicilian it is. Like the Najdorf maybe, sometimes like to avoid complications, but against other Sicilians then yeah. But usually the knight develops to e2 to try and play f4. So knight f3 is just going to be kind of in the way because you're going to end up wanting to play f4 as well in these kinds of structures, or you try and prepare d4.
Oh yeah, because we had that's like a Maroczy bind kind of.
Yeah.
Is it?
Sort of.
Yeah, so
yeah.
Sorry, keep going.
No.
So I was just saying that with the FD4, the only thing is that you have to be prepared for the e5 and a very close position. but the main thing about the c4 is that you have this control over the d5 square, which when you play against the Sicilian, you have to be very careful, because if the black will open on d5 in a perfect moment, they will gain a lot of advantage. So that's why I personally used to like to play Maroxy a lot.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, here you're avoiding, especially this bishop as well can come in. So that's another reason why the knight maybe would have been a little bit better on e2, so they can have another defender of d5.
Yeah.
Um,
And it's a very close position as
It
well, because
is,
normally you
yeah.
probably would play through d4 and try to
Yeah,
bring your knight to d4 as well. So this is d3, is something that I wouldn't be used to. And then the fianchetto on the g3, bishop g2.
yeah. Also, it looks like okay. So probably black will need to give up the light square bishop for the knight because it has nowhere to go after h3.
Yeah. I wonder what's the goal of the queen on b6. Is that still the theory, or?
Well, I guess at the start it was attacking on b2, and then now it looks a little bit
Right.
silly after rook b1, and it's in the way
'Cause
of the bishop too.
Yeah, it is in the way of
Yeah.
the bishop. It's also in the way of the b pawn. So I was thinking
Yeah,
that in the future you could try to prepare some b5 to break
Yeah.
the strong pawn structures, and then I would probably try to focus on the d5 as much to try to open the position. Because then, if you guys will notice, if black maybe will successfully open the center, then the pawn on d3, it's going to be a backward pawn. So then there's a chance to maybe create a little weakness for black. So I would focus all my pieces, but that's just a guess. So don't listen. I probably say it wrong.
No, I think you're right. Also, the nice thing for black is that they have the d4 square, whereas white doesn't have the d5 square. So they can try and bring their knight into d4. So maybe bishop takes f3 is a decent idea, because after you trade, now you have the d4 square, which you can come in with the knight.
Yes, that's actually a good idea. So this is another outpost, guys. I was telling you, d4.
Yeah.
But that might be actually an interesting game now that I look. But see, guys, you know the way what Diana said, that she usually plays c4 to avoid any complications in Sicilian. I always used to like to play that as well, but the kind of the downside of that is that you let go the d4 square. So a lot of times you open up the position through playing the d4 and putting your knight on d4, and in this situation you just leave that that square empty, and you have to be very careful, because it can be a powerful place for black's knight or the bishop, so it's an outpost.
Yeah. And I don't think white can stop that anyway. I guess white also wants to exchange the bishop on h6. That's the idea with queen d2.
Mm-hmm. Would you consider a3 and preparing before playing with white?
Yeah, I think that's also one of the plans. So I think the nice thing about this opening is that you can play in the center, queenside and kingside. So you can play f4, d4, or b4.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't play all of them. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so probably a3. Yeah, I guess. So depends what black does.
Sure. But preparing d4 actually would be also seems. But I don't think we are ready for that, because there's a bishop on g4 that threatens to take the bishop on, the knight on f3, and we lose the defender of a d4. So I think black is safe now, because if white would open through d4, the d6 pawn looks really bad.
That's true, yeah.
But I don't think, because if we play a rook on f to d1, we are under the pin. or b to d1. Although I do like the rook on b1, so I would
Yeah.
keep the rook there.
Yeah, I also like the rook on b1 has nice ideas of b4, like you were saying, and also I don't think the bishop on g4 is such a big problem because we can always get rid of it whenever we want with h3 since they can't go to h4. Sorry, to h5 or f5.
No, that I'm not saying that it's a problem. It's just more that if we want to open it through d4, then the bishop can take on f3. But then I actually have an idea because I think we have enough time. I was wondering if we can play knight to e1 and to c2, so we have a better control over d4 and b4, and black will know from what direction you're going to come.
Yeah, that's a nice idea.
And f3, f4, something like that. With some pawn storm or f4 straight away.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. And also the knight on c2 is protecting b4 as well, so maybe you can get b4 as well.
Yes. But black is on the move, so obviously it all depends what will happen. What would you play with black if you would be playing the game?
I think I would take the knight and then play knight d4.
Take the knight. Yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense because it stops all the plans. And with our plan knight to e1, that obviously will not allow that anymore. So that I think this is kind of last moment if they want to take the knight. Well, it all depends what white actually, the player that plays white, what they have in their head.
Yeah, instead of queen d2, maybe knight e1 could have been. Oh, sorry, that's not possible because of the pin. Yeah, so queen d2 is allowing for knight e1. So it's up to black now if they want to give up the bishop pair or not. But I don't think the light square bishop is going to do much for them anyway in the future.
Exactly. And there is also Warrior in my chat mentions that girls under 17, the Krzysztofiska, the Polish players, are just pushing pawns instead of the pieces. So maybe later on we can have a look at the game.
Yeah, we can look now as well.
Hi Max, hi Ollie, hello guys. How are you?
Everyone's surprised that you're streaming.
I know and I haven't really announced it, but I'll be streaming for next 3 days.
Yeah.
Right? So you guys, obviously it's not the same when I stream just my own stuff, but I'm still happy to interact with you. It's different. Me and Diana know each other pretty well, so we're not too uptight to just we're happy to interact with the chat. So you can make all the jokes with some taste. just saying, there's a lot of parents also watching of their kids competing the competition.
Yeah. Also, so Waterford Wizard is asking h3 any help to white in the previous game. I guess h3 could be in the previous game. It could be an option if you want to provoke the bishop to take on f3, but also you probably don't want even the bishop to take on f3 because you want to play. I mean, if you go for the plan with knight e1, you want to keep your knight. Okay, so we can look at Maria's game from Poland.
Yes, have a look at the move 11.
Okay, so she went for g4.
That's
ambitious.
That's the Polish player on fire, very aggressive move.
Yeah, and she needs to get a win.
I know, so probably she's a bit pressured now. This is the move I would play in that age, probably. Well, I wouldn't play Scandinavian though, but yeah.
Oh yeah. So would you say that you were you played riskier when you were younger?
100%.
Really?
Yes.
I think I'm the opposite.
No, I feel like I calmed down a little and I'm more reasonable, but it doesn't actually. I feel like I played better back then. But yes, definitely I was way more aggressive and now I'm a little bit more focused on the center rather than attacking. And sometimes I notice if I attack too early, then I get punished very quickly. So
Yeah.
I'm just a little bit more scared. I'm getting older, guys.
No, we're still young, Tosh.
Well, you're like way younger than me.
Yeah, but also I think like I think in general like your 20s are such a just difficult age to um experience because you don't have any systems around. Well, I guess you haven't been in university, but ever since I've gone out of university, it's like now my life is kind of my up to me what I'm doing. So I feel like a lot more responsibility now. But I guess
Exactly.
you've been experiencing that for a while.
You don't have the pressure that you used to. When you're younger, you have certain tournaments you have to play in for your club or for your country, and I would know probably like in January, I always knew all the tournaments I would play that year.
Yeah.
So now it's a bit more, I'll see. So it's not the same, but you still enjoy it. It's just a bit more slower. I'm not as pressured as I was. It's just, guys, about enjoying the game at this stage.
Yeah. I guess I meant more in general. I feel more pressure about life, like not so much chess. Well, chess I don't feel any pressure anymore, but in life I feel a lot more pressure. I would say ever since I've gotten out of university.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I feel pressure because the closer you get to the 30th, the more pressure. I don't want to say it, but yes, that's what happens. Yeah, exactly. But everything has their own tempo. No rush. Um. Okay, so yeah, let's have a look at this G4, guys, because that was very interesting move. That I'm really excited to see what's going to happen after this because Black neglected their king's safety for now, and they're attacking a lot on the king side. But their Black square bishop is not developed yet, so I don't know if that will affect their attack in any way. But the H pawn is ready, definitely ready for some pawn, little pawn storm. But it's one pawn only. We'll see if that's enough, because you know that you need a lot of pieces. When you perform an attack on the king, you need a lot of pieces being coordinated together. But we can see that the queen is on totally different side of the board. Then the knight on d7 is a little bit awkward for now, so still have to bring that knight to the game. And the bishop is totally not developed and doesn't have the perfect square yet as well that we could put that bishop on. So we'll see if that was too early.
Yeah, I think maybe it might look scary, but it's really Yeah. You mentioned the dark square bishop. I don't see how the bishop can come. I mean, usually you would want it on d6 and have this nice diagonal like h2 b8 diagonal, but the bishop on g3 is just controlling all of it, so you're not even going to be able to bring it to d6.
Exactly. And then the other thing, guys, you should notice that if Black decides to go for the long castle, which would make sense, you have a look at the bishop on g3 that is attacking the whole diagonal, and that will weaken the castle a lot. So it's not the Black's king is not safe as it might seem, and that might be a little bit scary. Also, the rook is already on e1, so one bishop move, and there might be pretty scary attack. I feel like the Black pieces are in totally different places and they might not.
Yeah, they're not really coordinated very well.
No, I don't think so. What would if we come back to the move 11 before the G4? Well, I probably should come back before the G5 because I guess G5 was already the plan. But let's say after G5, what would be the better move?
Well, actually, I don't mind G. I think G5 is okay, but if you don't play G5, then you need to develop that bishop. So I guess if you want to develop it to G7, then G5 makes sense. But if not, then E6 would probably be the other option.
I think I would prefer E6 if I'm going to be honest, because it controls the D5 as well somehow. But I don't know. Yeah, I'd rather the E6 or G5. I think.
Yeah, I think e6 is the normal Scandinavian move.
You play Scandinavian, or you
Yeah,
used to play at least.
yeah. I play the Scandinavian with queen d8.
Okay, yes. See, I don't usually like the early queen development. I mean, I'm happy when people play it to me because I feel like you
Yeah,
always win some tempos,
yeah,
unless someone knows the theory really well. But if I would never say to the students to play the queen too early.
yeah. I think it maybe shouldn't be. Well, I guess it depends if players really like it. But if you do want to play the Scandinavian, the Caro-Kann has the exact same structure, and it's just slightly better. Um, you don't lose as much time. So
Yeah.
if you play Scandinavian, then I would say Caro-Kann would be a better option in terms of if you're familiar with those positions. But it's also, I think, like even like kids levels or just in general under I don't know, like maybe under 2000 or something like that.
Hmm.
Scandinavian isn't, I don't think it's played that often. It's not a common opening that you play against, so maybe players aren't as prepared, so that's why sometimes it's nice to play something just different. But she's been playing it all the time, so it's easy to prepare against, and once white has a good preparation against the Scandinavian, it's really difficult to play.
Yeah, exactly. We will see the G4. And also, like, I feel like white are not too scared because they just play bishop to G3. Bishop to G3, and that like holds the position, I think, because I don't need a H5. It's very too scary because two of the white pieces, minor pieces, that are controlling the H4. And I think we don't have to be scared because it's only the rook on the H8 for now.
Yeah,
And
and the
yeah,
queen is on the other side of the board as well.
yeah, and the evaluation bar actually says it's plus 2.5 for white. So, guys, this is exactly the reasons that we say that the coordination of black is not the best. The king is not secured yet. The bishop on the fate is not developed. The rooks are not working together. So it's just too early for the attack. That's why I'm too scared of attacking now, because I just have a better understanding. So before, I probably would play moves that are not exactly correct, but they're sharp and they're scary, and opponents would make mistakes anyway.
Yeah,
But now I'm trying to be more correct, and so there's, downside and good sides to both of them.
yeah.
Um,
I think for me, I was playing with a lot more fear during my game, so I didn't want to do anything wrong. But now I'm more confident in my chess, and also I don't care so much about losing, depending on the tournament. But um, that's why maybe I think I play a bit more aggressively now.
exactly. Okay, we can switch on some different game for now. There's still a lot is going to happen on this game. We can come back to the game that we were looking for with the kind of Maroczy structure.
Wait, which game?
Is that McFadden against Comer?
In which section?
That's a section. Hold on, I'll just send you the video. I think, is that the guys under 17, or am I wrong?
Oh yeah, got it. Under nines with
Oh,
Oshin.
it's under 9s.
Oh, he actually already lost. He missed a tactic. Oh no!
Oh no. Oh, that's the game. Oh, oh yes, he was. Oh no. But see, exactly what we were talking about. That the black took on f3.
Yeah, he played really well here. He took, and actually he played knight e4, which is also a really nice square.
Oh,
For
here,
the knight.
9 and 4. I was actually wondering, yeah, does the bishop come back to? Yeah, no, I'd say that makes more sense to come back to g2, and then knight to g4. Oh no, the f3. Oh god, this one. Yes. so that's unfortunate blunder. So Oshin won.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it was Ireland against Ireland.
Oh, there's
Um,
Ireland against Ireland. Okay.
let me check.
Yeah, so what would you play? If you wouldn't play the f3, which obviously was a blunder in that situation, what would you play in this? Because actually the knight on g4 seems very good, considering the bishop doesn't have many spots to go to.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'm probably going to lose this dark square bishop, which is annoying. So maybe, okay, if I play bishop g5, then h6 is possible. So I can't really get rid of it. Maybe I would just play h3.
Oh, just h3. I would also consider something like bishop on g5, because I'm thinking that if black actually will play on f6, we provoke them to kind of weaken the pawn structure and block the bishop for like at least one move. So then we maybe come back somewhere, but I don't know if that would be that good.
Yeah, well, if they play f6, it'll definitely be good. But what about h6?
Yeah, the h6, then we could we obviously cannot go on h4, so then we could either come back or bishop on f4, but then if the bishop goes on f4, I don't know if that goes actually. So yeah, we can just play Would you want to play h3, or do you already assume that if the knight is on g4, they're going to take on e3 anyway? So do we want to waste the move for h3, or do we maybe want to bring the rook, or
Yeah, I guess the knight wants to take. I think maybe we could play f4. Well, actually, no, we can't play the f pawn because of what happened. We can't play the. So okay, maybe we can play king h1 to prepare that. But also, if I was black, I probably wouldn't take on e3 until I'm attacked.
Okay. So I actually would have a plan now. So I would go on the g5. If black plays f6, we're happy. If black plays h6, I probably would come back anyway. And if knight would take on e3, then I just take with f pawn, and we obviously were just trying to prepare the d4. So that would be just a little provocation. But h6, I'm not scared of that move. So even if we waste that one move, I don't think it's a big deal. But what happens is, if we go back with our bishop on e3, we put some pressure on the h6, so the knight can't really come back to f6 or anything like that. So I felt I just would do that little trick. I don't know if that would help.
Yeah, I guess if they after h6 bishop e3, the knight will take. I'm surprised that you take with the pawn.
Really? I would. Yeah, in that situation, I think I would try to take with the pawn and try to prepare the d4. I do like my double pawn sometimes if it's the right situation.
I think it will still be hard to play, because then they can play e5, I would think, to stop it.
Oh, they would try to block that. But then they gave up on the d5.
Yeah, that's true.
d5 will be quite strong. They don't have the white bishop.
You're right.
And the square on f6 is going to be weak because we have some open file. But I don't know if that would be that good. I like the pressure. But it might be also a weakness, so we have to be very careful, because if we take on e3, black has black square bishop and has a queen. So we have to be very careful. If black try to open the position somehow, it won't be too weak. But I think we'll be fine.
Yeah, I like the plan with d4. Also, I'm thinking if you want to play d4, probably. So yeah, I guess e5, you're right, it will give up the d5 square. So maybe black will try to play something like b5 and then counterattack on c4.
Yeah.
But yeah, the queen is in the way, so probably moving the queen a6, b5, and then. Well, maybe even b4. But then you'll, I guess, defend with b3 because you don't want to take with the d pawn.
Yeah, exactly. So, but unfortunately, white played f3. and
Yeah.
that obviously blundered. We can actually, the game that we're just looking before, the Polish girl,
Yeah.
Maria Krzysztońska, they made two moves that's quite interesting to consider because she went for the long castle, and there's a nice move, the white played that I quite like.
Yeah, knight h4 is good. And now this
Yeah,
bishop is misplaced.
Exactly, but that's a very nice. Guys, that normally you're not supposed to put your knights on the sides of the board, but look how basically the entire idea of playing the g4 was to probably move the pawn h and try to create some attack, and knight on h4 just totally kills that attack, and there's no way to kick that knight out as well, and now you don't even know what to do with the bishop. I think white is winning the material here.
So probably the knight has to move. Let's say knight f6.
Okay, yeah, the knight, because there's a queen protecting the bishop on the 5. Because obviously if you move the bishop, there's a knight on the attack. So if you move knight to f6, I do wonder, can we play, are there any tactics there? I do wonder.
Okay, maybe we can kick away the queen. We can play something like b4, which is a sneaky. But then I guess the queen can take.
And then attack on the c3. That's what I'm seeing as well. Exactly.
Yeah, then attacks on c3. But then maybe we can just take the bishop, queen takes on c3, and then rook b1.
True. What about even we just take the pawn on f5? Queen takes, and even we can play bishop on d3 or something and try to bring the queen to the game, or is that too slow?
Wait, say that again. So after knight f6, taking the bishop?
Yeah, I was thinking maybe taking the bishop and just improving our bishop, but no, maybe that doesn't actually make sense though. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess we can also do that, although I don't want to encourage black's queen to come into the king's position.
Yes. And we are using the knight on h4 is blocking the attack, so why would we actually exchange them? There's no pressure.
Yeah, but I do like knight h4. Because also we're getting this knight that was on g4, which was the only kind of aggressive attacker on the king's side, and now it has to move back. Or I guess h5 can also protect it, so maybe black will play h5. I think that's probably what she's thinking about.
Okay, true. But to be honest, we can actually just not. We have a knight on h4, and white doesn't have to worry about any attack on the king side at the moment, so we can just focus all our forces on the queen side, and even quiet a3 and then b4, or even rook on b1 could be good, although probably a3 would be better, because we have all the time in the world really, because there's no much pressure. We just have to be careful with the d4 pawn, I guess.
Yeah, maybe there's some things like e5. But the bishop on g3 is so good for white. I really like that bishop.
It's a very powerful bishop, especially that black already played c6.
Yeah.
So you can see every pawn move has consequences, and there's always at least a few squares that will be weak after the pawn move, so you have to always consider if they will, in a way, will interfere with your game plan or no. So in that case, the black squares are quite weak for black.
Yeah. We can watch Shreyansh, who we let me just find. So he's under 11s, and we had an interview with him a few days ago, and everyone was surprised about his intelligence.
Okay.
Because he had some really nice witty comments. Wait.
Oh.
Maybe he's already finished.
You have to fill me up now because I'm not sure.
Wait, it's in the WhatsApp group chat. his
Oh,
interview.
sorry. There was...
So he was. Wait, let me just find. Oh, he actually lost, unfortunately, today. So he's already lost his game, but he was saying that his favorite player is Karpov, which I've never heard anyone like under, I don't know, under 20, or I've never heard a younger player refer to Karpov as their favorite player.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, usually like it's Kasparov, Bobby Fischer, Magnus,
Oh, yes, exactly.
but I've not heard of anyone. Like, I've never thought about Karpov's games too much, only when I got a little bit older and studied, but even then I didn't really think
Didn't
too
like
much.
it.
Like, yeah, I just didn't, yeah. Or I didn't maybe, because his style of play, like, Sharon referred to him as a boy, squeezing his opponents, which I feel also at a young age, it's interesting to see that other kids are thinking, instead of attacking, they're thinking about squeezing opponents, like playing slowly, but like slowly killing your opponent.
Just teaching that my student the other day.
Are you?
So I guess, yeah, I wonder where's that from? I don't even know where. Yeah, but maybe that the coach like the Karpov games, and he was teaching based on the games. But
Yeah.
that's a term I would also use. But there are not many kids. Many kids would probably go for the attacking.
Yeah.
And they don't always understand just gaining the space and the position and blocking the development, and that's a bit more advanced, I guess. Oh,
Yeah.
there was some quick mate.
Yeah, he missed but I think he already lost a piece early on in the opening. So here, well, I guess that's, yeah. Sorry. He lost a piece because here he shouldn't have allowed the mate. So I think he just missed this bishop probably on b7.
Did you see any of those reels, those shorts where people play the game and there's no bishop on the chessboard?
Yeah.
There's a bishop somewhere very far away in the room.
Yeah.
So there's always that one bishop that that you guys don't see, but it's looking at the board and it's protecting that queen. Yeah, I saw a lot of jokes like this. I think I even saw one yesterday. Yeah, Nemo posted.
Yeah, I think I saw Danny Wrench posted one where it was like he was going up like so many flights of stairs and then it was hidden in his closet or something.
I saw a lot of people posting that. It's like a trend. And I see it in the chess press as well. Okay, let me just post something once again on Instagram, so maybe we can gain a few more followers. So just post on Irish Chess Union and reshare it, and that should be good.
Okay, so there's only one game left in the under 7s girls category.
Okay.
But it's looking like the leader might actually be losing this game. So in the under 7 girls, there are 2 players on 4 out of 5. Sorry, actually on 4 out of 4 because today is the 5th round. And she's the Maria Ioana from Romania. She's the only rated player in the whole section.
Okay.
Wait, I'll send you the game.
And that's under 7s, is it?
Yeah.
So 1600 under 7. That's pretty high rating.
Yeah, it is.
So guys, remember the name because you never know. Maybe she'll be very, very high rated player very soon. It's actually good to watch that game.
Yeah, but she lost a piece early on in the game, so Okay, on move 20. Do you have? I sent the game on Discord.
Okay.
So on move 20. I guess like even before that she
20. I have it. Knight c4.
Yeah, and here after her opponent took on you. Okay, I guess she lost. She forgot about the bishop on.
So she just gave up a piece for.
Yeah.
Oh no, because she thought probably it was a tactic. No,
Yeah.
because you could see the fork at the end.
Yeah.
But she did it. Oh yeah, another situation with this faraway bishop.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's what's it called? It's a bad look now. It's forgot the name. But basically, it's a horrible bishop that you never see and somewhere at the edge of the board, and it creates a lot of problems. Cursed. It's a cursed bishop.
Oh, I think I'm being attacked by bots again. I don't know if you have this as well, but like every night, like for the past maybe like 6 streams that I've had, just randomly I'll get like loads of bots just starting following me.
Oh yeah, and it's horrible because 2 or 3 months later, suddenly you'll notice 300 followers going down because they inflate you, but then at some point someone checks it out. It happened to me loads of times, and then you have to turn off your audio because it's panicky on stream once when everyone get annoyed.
Yeah, because right now it's going off. I think it stopped now, but it was it's actually still going. It's still going, but I can't turn off the audio because you're on the.
Yes.
Yeah. So someone's asking, Wedi KO. It's being held in University of Limerick, the tournament.
It's in Ireland, if no one knows.
Yeah, in Ireland. So here's the information with the tournament.
Yeah, I tagged. I just posted on Instagram. So if you want to reshare it as well, I tag your Twitch account there. So if you have a second. Okay.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for Black. She's just playing with the piece down. But again, maybe anything can happen.
Exactly. Give me 1 more second. I'll be back.
No problem. Okay, so I want to have a look at. Actually, we'll do a prediction. So Susanna's game finished. There's one game already finished in the under 17s.
Susanna's game is finished.
Yeah.
Oh, the one with the incorrect attack. Oh no, that was Marie.
So there's a female player in the Open under 17s. She's the only girl in the Open under 17s from Ireland. I guess she's probably, her parents are Polish, maybe, but it seems like she has a Polish name.
Oh yes, that's. I've never actually seen that name on any of the Irish chess tournaments yet. So that's interesting to see a Polish player, female player that plays for Ireland.
Yeah.
And she unfortunately lost. Oh, there was an interesting endgame at the end.
Yeah, White played really well to attack at the start of the game, and then
Oh,
okay, then she just lost a rook. So I think
she just lost the rook by accident, so simple. Well,
yeah, well, yeah.
yes, exactly.
I guess here, I mean, she just needs to take back with the rook on d8.
But then White blundered the rook in the move 32 on rook on a8 for free, and we are in the end game, 6 pawns versus 4.
Oh yeah,
And
that's oh yeah.
so you never know. You never know with those players that never underestimate the position.
The bishop again.
Yes.
They forget about the bishop.
It's interesting because if you look at the move 33 and then in 34 White played h6, kind of allowing the king to come to the g6. You know, well, I guess it's already winning for White anyway, but you have to kind of, at this level, I think it's pretty hard to know how to win endgame like that. It's easy to lose your pawns. If we are talking about the players that can blunder the rook in one, you know, this is still a lot could happen.
Yeah.
But you can see that actually White brought the king to the center, then to control the pawns on g4 and g5, and very nicely converted the advantage. Yeah, some people struggle even with one single pawn how to promote to the queen. So I can still see some stalemate possibilities there.
Yeah.
But there was a nice checkmate. Oh, what a nice checkmate with the bishop on d4.
Yeah, it's nice to say that you've checkmated with the bishop.
With this, and again, long bishop.
Yeah, that's why the rook was lost. This is why so it seems like today's stream is mainly bishops coming out.
Bishop themed stream, guys.
Yeah.
If I would ask you which piece do you prefer, knight or bishop, I think today you don't really have a choice.
What would you prefer?
It depends, because I do like my bishop. I do like my pair of bishops, bishop pair, but I also do like a knight when I have a nice outpost.
Yeah.
So it all depends, and I do like maneuvering with the knight. So it all depends kind of on the position. I don't have favorites. What about you?
I think I prefer bishops.
And a lot of times you have the situation when you have a good knight against bad bishop in the end games. So sometimes knight can be stronger.
Yeah, definitely. If it always depends on the position. Like you can't always. Same in the game that we watched with where the bishop was on g4 and they traded on f3.
Oh yes, then the bishop.
Yeah, the knights are better, but overall, I think I prefer bishops.
Yes, and I've mentioned, Warrior in my chat just said that I've never seen Susanna on the Irish tournaments because it's her first event from what he sees, which that's very good.
Oh, yeah, I guess the first tournament that you played, that's the Fed. Oh, yeah, I was thinking because I think she is born in Ireland anyway or I don't know if she's born in Ireland, but she has a very thick Irish accent. We saw an interview with her a few days ago.
And how are the interviews, by the way? What do the players are saying? Because I haven't really go through them yet.
Ross just asked the same question, so he says, how are you finding the venue? What do you think about before your game?
Yeah.
And yeah, I guess we try and watch so hopefully they come with an interview soon, but we watch their games before the interview just to get a feel for what they're going to be talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And then they'll say, or he also asks who their chess hero is.
And How
So
do they say? Oh, Kasparov.
So
Karpov, sorry.
Shayan said Karpov. Then Lexi didn't have a favorite, but I want to show you. I'll put up Susanna's interview again because there's a funny moment in that. So actually, it's probably the
Yeah, let's
funniest
have a look.
interview.
As we look at her game, it's nice. At least you can, guys, picture the player. So let's have a look.
Wait. Okay, so.
Someone was asking why do we have a black and white live stream from the venue? It's in 50s style.
Well, I think they just can't get the color to work on the camera. I don't know why. So it worked before, but I don't know why it's not working anymore. Like not in this turn, but it's the same camera that they used for the Sligo.
Oh, okay. Yes. Well, then it's still fair play that I didn't know that the camera is going to be on the stream, so I'm happy to see. It always looks better when you can at least imagine how the venue looks like.
Yeah. Okay, so here is the interview with Susanna. Okay, so
we'll see how good I am with recognizing the Irish accent.
Hello, today I'm here with Susanna from Ireland, playing Open Under 17. Susanna.
Hello.
So, Susanna, what do you think of the venue?
Oh,
I
can't.
think it's very nice. The venue is very big. It's easy to get lost, but it's.
Oh, can you? You can't hear it. Wait, can you hear the stream?
No, I can hear now. I put a stream on.
No, I'll just start it from the start.
Hello, today I'm here with Susanna from Ireland, playing Open Under 17. Welcome, Susanna.
Hello.
So, Susanna, what do you think of the venue?
I think it's very nice. The venue is very big. It's easy to get lost, but it's big open space and there's many monuments around the campus, so it's really nice.
Lovely. Very good answer. So, how did your game go just then? Could you talk us through roughly what happened in terms of opening, middle game? Was there an end game?
From the start, I played the Queen's Pawn game. It went well. Then in the middle game, I had a bit of trouble, but I managed to block it, and then at the end, my opponent resigned.
Could you describe some of what the trouble you were facing in the middle game was?
I was being attacked by his queen to my king, and I had to block it, and I had to give up some pieces, but in the end, I gained some pieces.
So you had to do some sort of tactical sacrifices just to cover everything.
Yeah.
Very nice. Okay, and so what was the actual opening like? What was
it was the Queen's Pawn game.
Okay.
So d4, move my knight up, and then also put my bishop to g5.
Lovely. Okay. And then they responded like d5.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Okay. So what is it that you enjoy about playing chess?
I enjoy the strategic.
Yeah, take your time.
I enjoy the strategic thinking. You have to think and sit about it. You have to take your time. It's a patient game. So even to learn about the other player, to see how they played, it's fun because you get to see different ways of people playing.
Just different like strategies and styles. Yeah, very nice. Is this your first international chess tournament? Have you played? Is. Beautiful. And how are you finding it?
It's very fun. I get to meet a lot of people from different countries, and meeting them is really fun because they're like the same as me. They're coming and playing chess just from different countries, so it's nice to meet other people.
Yeah, exactly. So you can sort of get to know them, and you have a common interest. So you always have them to talk about, which is good. Beautiful. So when you sit down to your game before the game has began, what's going through your mind? What are you thinking about?
Usually go through my opponent's games, so I sometimes think about the openings that they could go through. But I'm also just thinking to stay calm because it's for fun.
Yeah, exactly. That's very true. It's good to try and stay calm in that kind of moment. So during the games, do you like to walk around and sort of look at other people's games, or do you sort of only walk around for exercise and just focus on your game as much as possible?
if I'm confident in the play, I will walk around to maybe look at my friends' games to see what they're doing. But other than that, not really.
Yeah, that's absolutely fair. Okay, so I've got one more question for you, Susanna. Is there any strong player that you follow or that you admire?
There's a Turkish player. I can't pronounce the name,
Okay.
but he played Carlos Magnuson.
Ooh.
So, and he
Or
won
Michael.
online.
Wait, who is Carlos? You mean Magnus Carlsen? Or-
Sorry, yeah. And he won online, which is really good. He's an under 17 open player, so
Oh, yeah, that's very fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's pretty scary, but yeah. Well, lovely. Anyway, thank you very much for your answers here today. That's great. And yeah, good luck in the rest of the tournament.
thank you.
So what did you think about Ross calling her out?
Oh, yeah. He did.
Yeah.
But yeah. But see, I could hear a little bit of Polish accent there.
Maybe a
very
little,
slight, a
but
very slight accent. But I think she probably was. I would say that I don't think she was born in Ireland. But I'd
Maybe
say
not.
She probably moved.
yeah.
But yeah, no, that was yes, called her out. But it's pretty interesting because she's playing under 17, right? Did I
Yeah.
get that right?
Yeah.
So it's so interesting for a girl in Ireland starting, like it's her first international tournament that she started in that age. That's not very common because usually the girls start quite early and there's not many girls around like teenage years that they would be like, oh, let's play chess. So
Yeah.
I'm actually very happy that to see another female player from Ireland just starting, and she's from Poland.
Yeah.
So I feel even more happy about that. So yeah, that's very good. But yeah, Ross did call her out. I was waiting for more questions.
No, but it's funny because I asked him like, well, I said it was funny. It was funny how he called her out or something, and then he's like, oh, I was genuinely curious who she was referring to, which I don't believe.
What do you mean? What do you mean you don't believe?
Like, I don't believe he didn't know that it was Magnus Carlsen that she mentioned, that she said.
Oh, but sorry, I misunderstood. I thought it was another player that who played against Magnus Carlsen.
Yeah, but when Ross said, who's that? You mean
Oh
Magnus
yeah,
Carlsen?
she. Oh yeah, no, but that's good. She was like Magnus.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's actually interesting to see the interviews because we don't really get to see the players itself because the camera is pretty far away and it's black and white, so it's nice to see the players. We don't have any interviews for today yet, no?
Not yet, but hopefully they'll come in. They'll come in soon.
Yeah, hopefully they come soon. But yeah, it's nice. Actually, I'm happy that it works pretty well. That we can put something on as well. Okay, so what other games are we going to have a look at according to your list? Did we check all the players there?
No, but so Shreyansh has finished. We can look at Irmak, who is playing under 9 girls.
Okay, we actually haven't checked any of the games from like the under 15 or the under 11 as well, did we?
Under 15. Under 11s, we looked at Shreyansh and the first and Sayansh. And Irmak. Wait, let me see. Where's Irmak's game? Okay, so she's playing against a Polish girl, Helena.
What's her second name? Sorry.
Wait, I'll give you the link.
What if a wizard says, hope he doesn't embarrass her like the first time? Oh, yeah. Well, you have to be also careful because, they're all underage kids, so some of them don't like to be embarrassed on live stream, so... 90% of people who play chess in Ireland aren't Irish. Well, there might I wouldn't
wouldn't
say 90%.
Yeah, I don't think 90% is very
No,
accurate, but I
no,
think
no.
most players. Well, maybe now it's changed a little bit, but I think when I was growing up as well, most players who played were not from Ireland.
Yes, but then when it comes to representation, let's say on the Olympiads, then you probably see a bit more foreigner players representing. But on the actual, there's a lot of when we play our Armstrong League or any other league, you can see a lot of Irish players playing there. On any other tournament, you see a lot of Irish players, and it's they always the majority of the tournament. So that's a big statement. You thought it was another interview. No, that was the same interview, but I haven't been really here, so I wasn't up to date, and I want to see Polish player. Okay, let's have a look. You've sent me already the link. I'm
Yeah.
just going to open that and let's look at the game. Okay, so what was the opening?
So Ermac is leading the tournament as well. She's on
Okay.
4.5. There are two players on 4.5, and Sophie from Romania and Ermac from Turkey.
Also, his queen's and gambit declined. And then the move move 12 there. Am I looking at the right game? Yeah, F5.
So I guess White
Oh.
can't take the bishop because it's pinned. The pawn is
Okay.
pinned.
Oh yeah, true. But is there any other tactic that? I don't think so.
I actually like F5. I think F4 is a big threat.
Okay, true. Actually, we cannot take on it before because of the rook and let's also pin. The knight is pinned, so we do have to probably just do a castle and then take.
Okay, maybe we did have a better move. Like, I think G5 is possible instead of F5, and then after the bishop takes, we can take on D4, and then the queen is attacking the bishop
G5.
instead of F5.
Okay, and
Just
if we take,
then we
what
can
happens
take.
if bishop takes on G5? That's a hard one now. Hold on. If bishop
Yeah.
takes on G5, can you just take on the? Or you can do a check and take on D4. Or
So
take on
you can
D4
take him.
first.
Yeah, you can take on D4 immediately, and then the queen
Okay.
is attacking the bishop on G5. But okay, I think that's a little bit difficult. Also, the bishop doesn't have to take on G5. They can go to G3, and then I think F5 just comes in with more power. Sorry, F4. Yeah, F5,
Okay.
but then threatening F4.
Exactly.
Yeah, because I guess now once you play F5, you can't play G5 with the same threat anymore because you blocked the queen.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Okay, so after she exchanged. Oh, I thought she lost a pawn, but I don't know who I prefer. I actually do prefer Black's position. But okay, once the queens are traded, now White I think is better. If Black keeps the queens on, but I don't think they have.
Oh, yeah.
There's an option for that.
Well, they traded the queens now, but or you think you would keep the queen on? But you don't really have. Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. We
there's
said just no many spots. You only
Yeah.
have one other spot, two. Queen of D7 and Queen of D8, right?
Yeah, and they're both not
Oh.
great.
Or Queen on B8, but
Yeah,
no.
even worse.
That just does not look good. So you have to. But see, now we have the pass pawn.
Yeah, now the pawn on
And-
D5 is annoying. Yeah.
And again, the bishop on D7 is not developed. So if I would be playing white, I wonder if there's any way to put the bishop on b5 as quick as possible. But then you have, I guess you have a6, you have b5. Or, well, no, that probably wouldn't help. Or even trying to put the rook on c7 to squeeze the opponent and trying to block all the possibilities. But that's what I always teach my students, that if you actually do see you have advantage in a development, you always think how you can slow down that even more, the development of your opponent.
Yeah. Also, she's very low on time. So this would be a good result for Helena if she wins, because she's only on 2.5, and then that will boost her score a lot. And then Ermac will only be on 4.5, whereas I think. Wait. So the other leader of the tournament is Anne Sophie, who is playing against a Ukrainian girl. Oh yeah, this is the game that we were looking at the very beginning, where she was playing the Collie.
Oh, okay.
But
It's a very close position.
yeah, it's still early game. But Black is very low on time, 26 minutes versus 48.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's actually, there weren't many moves made. I mean, it doesn't look like on the board. It's still, I would say we're still in the opening phase, and that happens to me sometimes as well. And then I try to wake up and being like, I didn't even finish opening, and I'm already like on a very low time. So time management is also part of the game, I guess. And guys, imagine there's going to be an end game at some stage. She's going to have like 5 minutes on that clock.
Yeah.
Or even the middle game.
Yeah, it's always dangerous to use up all your time at the start. I guess once your opponent thinks a lot, it encourages you to also think a lot. And then, that's I guess why not many moves were made. And they both just started playing very slowly. Because she's thinking a lot here, which is, maybe there is a transmission error, because there's nothing really to, well, not that there's nothing to think about, but she needs to either try and push e4, or maybe develop the bishop with b3.
Yeah, exactly. But I wouldn't say it's like the key moment that you have to spend a lot of time on.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
For neither of the colors.
Yeah.
Really, because she has more time than her opponent, so.
Okay, so she took on c5, which I'm not so sure if I like it that so much.
No, I always keep the pressure. Don't be the first one to take in critical pawn break moment.
Yeah.
No. Because you don't gain anything in that pawn structure when you take. I don't think so. I think basically keeping the pawn d4 and threaten you with some e4 pawn break.
Yeah, and now Black has 2 central pawns, and the pawn on the b pawn is just going to take back, and now Black has 3 really nice pawns in the center, and you don't have any way to. This looks like a reverse Scandinavian if you look at the structure.
See, true. But the white pieces are a little bit awkward, and that's not very. The pawn structure doesn't complement those pieces at all. So I'm not a big fan of this.
Yeah, and usually in the color you want to bring your knight to e5 and play f4, but the pieces are just not linked. I mean, now that d4 is not there anymore, and the rook is not even on f1 anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about it.
Also, hello Joe and hello Polkas in my chat. How are you? Yes, I'm back for the commentary of the European Schools Chess Championship held in Limerick in Ireland. And sometimes we're actually even watching the Polish players as well, and Irish players, and lots of different players. So, I'll be happy if you stay and help us commentating, interact in the chat. You free to stay.
Yeah. Also, TJ, hello. So I don't know if you've ever played Profit for Chess Profit, which is predicting on games on Title Tuesday.
I've never played that. But do you want to do predictions for these games?
Oh yeah, I've been doing predictions for these games anyway. I usually do it for when it gets into the end game to predict maybe some of the scores. Sometimes there's like some tricky rooking games. Well, most of the time there have been some rooking games. But Profit was on. It started an hour ago. I actually forgot about it. I was gonna do it on the side. But TJ came in also a little bit late, so it's always hard to catch up with the other scores when you when you miss a few Profit rounds. But you should definitely try it out. It's actually a lot of fun.
I definitely will at some point. Okay, and also there's this other game that we were watching earlier of I Am Adar Tarhan against Yunus. There might be some interesting game going on. It's actually, he's probably going to win.
Yeah, he's an exchange up.
His exchange up, but he's also up on time a lot.
Yeah, 1 hour versus 26.
But this is, I feel like this game can be a lot about squeezing the opponent if we talk about it. Because you can see the white pieces are really misplaced, and then queen on c1 is in a very uncomfortable spot. But black played queen on d3, and I wonder what's going to be the plan, if he's going straight for the attack or just trying to limit the white's movement as much as possible. Because there is not much you can do as white. Pieces are just so awkward.
Yeah, so I guess he missed a tactic. White missed a tactic early on in the game on move 23. I think maybe he missed bishop e4, but I don't know. I think maybe he missed bishop e4.
You mean white?
Yeah. Winning the exchange. But I'm not sure if that was because it seems like after queen c2 now. Well, I don't even So
bishop.
Yeah.
Oh, that's where he missed. Oh, exactly.
So queen c2 is the mistake here, I would say. But it's difficult because the rook is on the e file and you want to get the queen out of that.
True, I get that, but I guess you have to, like, if you play queen on c2, it's natural kind of for me to see the rook and the queen are on the same diagonal, and then thinking how black can put the white square bishop there. So I feel like the knight on e5 is pretty straightforward tactic on that level because he's 1800. So so that's like our rating basically. Well, I mean close enough. But I'm just so that definitely should be considered. I guess what else he could see. Because knight on d2, f1 to d2 doesn't really work in that situation. I don't think so. So queen on c2 was a mistake. And what else could we play? Because we obviously the f4 is a threat.
Well, yeah. Yeah, that's true. I don't know. Maybe we can try and well, I don't know if that will help if we try and trade rooks, because after if we try and play like rook from b to d1 after f4 and then try and take the rook on d8, but it doesn't work because the queen will just, or knight will just take that.
Seems pretty awkward for white. Not many options that you can play. So
probably he went wrong when he took the pawn on f5.
I'd say so. I'm trying to calculate something like, but it's dumb. I was thinking of something like b3, but obviously f4 just like whatever takes you do on c4, they don't compensate the f4. That's work. Yeah, this is already very awkward situation. So the mistake must be a bit early on. The main mistake that actually leaded to it. So, what do you think about taking on c5? That's what I don't like fully. And then followed by bishop on from b to d2. I feel like that's where.
Yeah, taking on c5, similar from the last game where
Yeah.
White just gave up central pawn, and I think the same. Yeah, you're right. The same thing happened here.
Always about pressure, guys. Don't try to be the first to take, unless you see a clear advantage after take. If you have a critical moment in a pawn break, if you are the first to take, and you don't have a proper plan following and gaining the advantage in the position, try not to take. It's all about the pressure. Well, in this situation, obviously, the pawn is under attack. The d4 pawn is under attack. So I do wonder if bishop on e3 would work, or if that's too scary. Because I'm not really scared of the c4 at all. Like, that doesn't...
Yeah, you still go to c2.
Yeah. I think I would play bishop to e3 and try to develop my pieces. Because look at this position. You open... So look at the development of white. There are two minor pieces that are not developed, and queen is also on d1, so the rook don't see each other. And you open in the position without having the full development. And now, obviously, white put the knight to d2, and that slows down the development even more, because the bishop is now closed, and the queen now is closed, and it's just very awkward.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess he lost a lot of time. Or maybe we could try something like, well, I don't know if you want to close the center like that and open up your opponents, but maybe we could try like d5.
Oh yeah, d5. Well, obviously we give up on the e5 and the d4 square, but maybe it's not as scary. This definitely will be a bit close position, because the bishop, white square bishop is going to be a bit close, but it's still better than taking on c5, I think.
Yeah. I guess, because usually when you play d5, the knight goes back to e7, but now since the other knight is on e7, I'm not sure where he would go. Because wherever he goes, I would just trade it, unless it's a5, which I don't think is the great square for the knight anyway. But
yeah, we could do that. So,
but I also I think bishop e3 is really good, because you need to develop your pieces. So bishop e3 is the way to go.
Yeah, exactly. And you just have to be careful with that b2 pawn. But if you're not planning to move your pawn on d for a while, you'll be fine. And I think you have time to, protect that pawn at some point as well, if you're too scared. And yeah, so I think bishop on e3 actually looks pretty powerful, because he also threatens some takes on c5. And if we let go the b2 pawn, there's always rook on e2 as well, which develop the rooks at the same time, and then that rook will be pretty scary, because it comes straight to the game. So bishop on e3, I would go for that.
Yeah. Also,
and there actually, yeah,
no, you can go.
Because I actually have on the right hand side, I can see what other moves were played in different games. It's bishop on e3 or d5. Bishop on e3 won the game, and d5 lost the game in the same.
Oh, okay.
Game.
Yeah.
So that's just an interesting little note. Maybe Free, thank you so much for gifting 100 bits. Thank you.
1,000.
Oh, sorry, 1,000. I have no glasses on me. I have no glasses. That's my. Well, then I thank you even more. 1,000. Sorry, my bad. Yeah. Okay, so that game didn't go as planned for white, but you can see a lot of. So see the difference in the rating, guys. There is obviously a huge difference, because the guy it's 2,470, and then the player is almost 1,900. But the white made some positional mistakes, like taking the pawn in the wrong moment and putting the pieces in awkward space, awkward places. And basically there was only like 3 mistakes at the beginning and then when we are on the move, where we played queen on c2, that was already caused.
Yeah.
The awkwardness was already caused by the previous mistakes in the center play. Thanks,
Yeah.
Warrior. Thank you so much for gifting the 100 bits.
Also, we have Eunice's classmate in the chat. He says Eunice is in my class such a good kid. So,
We
it's
can have a look at the game.
we were just looking at it.
Oh, that's sorry.
Yeah.
The player, the white. Okay. Oh, yeah. So we. So you just heard all the bad feedback we gave. But it's a good feedback because you can learn from that too.
Yeah, and he's just lost the game now. He's lost the queen. Actually, there was a really nice queen sacrifice from Tarhan, queen d1, sacrificing the queen, and he's just going to win the queen back with bishop e5 and gain some.
That's a very powerful tactic. I really like that.
Oh, Eunice actually dislocated his thumb last night playing football.
Oh God. It always happens because I feel like people forget that on the chess tournaments there's always so many sport activities that you do. And, I would always play table tennis, which I wouldn't be very good at it, and the guys who play a lot of football.
Yeah. I also played table tennis. That was my favorite thing.
Did you play the basketball as well, or
There was a really
popular?
basketball. It's much harder to play basketball in these terms because you need the ball. You can't play with any ball, and also you need to bounce it. So there's often not. Also, you need a net. But with soccer or football, you can just create your own.
That's true.
Yeah, your own net, and you just need a random. It's easier to find a football than a basketball.
Yeah, that makes sense. But there usually always will be some football pitch or something around
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
And probably more likely than the basketball.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
I would have
volleyball as
loved
well.
that. I would have much preferred to play basketball. But
In Poland we had the volleyball. That's kind of very popular. I think we would play that too.
oh yeah, that's also nice.
Yeah.
But even with that, you also need to get a net.
Well, yeah, but we would play those games that you would play in the circle as well and try to just, just kind of play. So
Oh,
you
yeah.
wouldn't- sometimes you have a proper match if you have a net, but if not, you just play those games. They're brutal, some of them.
Yeah.
And that's the game you can get your thumb dislocated very easy. But yes, I would play the kind of we had some games called Potato. If you miss the ball, you have to go in the middle, and then people kind of attack you with the ball. Polish people know what I'm talking about, probably. Ziemniak. Like potato. Okay, so what other game are we going to have a look now that is still going on and we didn't check yet?
We can watch Ben's game. He's playing against Kerem from Turkey. So Ben is
Yeah, let's go and have a look at it.
Ben is on
93,
3.
Thank you so much for gifting 10 subs. Thank you, I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much for supporting our commentary as well. And it's great to see you. Thank you. And there's a hype train going on, guys.
Woo!
Yeah, so let's have a look at the game. You just
Yeah.
oh no, I haven't seen it yet. Sorry,
Um,
I'm just very slow with finding those links. I do
Wait, I'll
appreciate
send it.
the-
Do you have it, or I can just send it? Wait one
I
second.
don't have it.
Okay, here. It's in the Discord.
Thank you. I'm just very slow. Oh, that's Ben. Yeah, I actually played against Ben and I lost. And the day after I played against his brother, and he played the same opening as well. Just a different
Oh.
line, French
Where did you play? In.
at Gonzaga.
Oh yeah, yeah. I only played it once.
Yes, I played both of them. I felt like Ben was a bit stronger than his brother Gabby.
Yeah, although maybe now Ben is higher rated, but I think there was a time like a few months ago or maybe 2 months ago where Gavin was higher rated.
Well, it was just one game, but I felt like Ben was a little bit more
Waterford
solid
Wizard just
player.
cheered 250
But maybe it was
bits.
just that one tournament. See, if Gavin is going to watch it at some point, he will disagree 100%. But I lost both of the games. It was quite a bad tournament for me too. Made lots of mistakes. And there was obviously French in that game because
Yeah.
we already agreed the French is the big Irish opening.
Yeah, and we have their coach in the chat, Coffin.
Oh, look,
Coffin
Scott,
School
yes,
of Chess.
he's the guy that started the French. And there's someone else was teaching the French as well, I think, that a lot of people played.
Thank you, Waterford Wizard, for the 250. Cheers.
Oh, not anymore. Common School of Chess Prodigy. Exactly. Yes. They're very good though, very strong.
Yeah, you started I guess like they didn't really, did they play much chess before? Or what was their rating when you first started coaching them? Because I'm sure you helped a lot.
Yeah, and now you have to get them back to our club as well. Look.
Yeah, there are 1,000, so it's definitely your doing getting
definitely. 100%. Also, thank you so much, Waterford, for 250 beats. Thank you. Big appreciation. Okay, so how is Ben doing? Let me just go through his game quickly because I like to always see how the position happened. There was early F6. Okay, so that's not the line. Oh, the isolate on. Kind of.
Yeah, the bishop here is strong.
Yeah, you've got a pretty solid position actually. I feel like those bishops seem pretty strong. Well, it's pretty equal according to the evaluation bar, but it's pretty straightforward for black though, I think. Because you just bring your rook and just correct your pieces. It's a bit more awkward for white to find the perfect spot for the knight. What do you think?
Yeah, I think the knight is in a perfect square because of stopping anything with bishop h2.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it would be better if it was on d4, but I think like right now it's in a great position.
Yeah, we can't really change that at the moment.
Yeah, but I think both have, well, black just needs to keep the pieces on the board because if you start trading, then the pawn becomes even more vulnerable.
Yeah.
Yeah, but for the I guess like both. I don't know about white's king situation after rook f8. You're gonna need to bring your rook either back to f1 or e2. But that looks already uncomfortable.
Yeah, that looks actually very uncomfortable because you don't have black super bishop to protect the pawn, and you have to use your pieces. And if you put rook on e2, you have to be careful with some bishop on g4, because then you have to. I guess you can play f3, but then you are weakening the g3 square as well with your knight. So it's a little bit awkward for white. Even if you try to put like your queen on d2, to put your rook on d1, there's always something like bishop on f4, which maybe is not scary, but
yeah, it is. It's hard to get your pieces to play. Maybe you can try like bishop b3, get your rook to c1, and just well, yeah. I was thinking if you can try and do something like if you can attack on e4 with the knight and fork, if you can create a pin, but I don't see how to make that work. But the bishop on c2 is a little bit in the way, so I think bishop b3 first and then rook c1.
Yeah. If I could choose what color I would play this position, I would go for black.
Yeah, me too.
Even
I
though
agree.
it's 0-0 on the valuation bar, but I would go for black because it's so much easier to play for black than for white, I think. And the pieces are perfect. Look at the bishop on e5. Like, white probably could try to play something like knight on e4, but there's this bishop protecting the queen all the time as well. And I don't know. I think it is a very solid position for black.
Yeah, and the bishops are so
Bish-
strong as well.
So I'd say bishop b3 for white would be the move now to put some pressure on the pawn,
Yeah,
and then creating some space as well for other pieces. What would you play if I play bishop b3 and you have to play black? What would be your?
maybe rook f8 to attack on f2.
Yeah, true. And then we probably have to play like rook on f1. Do we?
Or yeah, I mean, I'm wondering if rook e2, because of bishop e3, I don't think bishop g4 works because we can take on d5, and so I prefer rook e2 just because I want to keep my rook on the e file.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense actually. And then you can try to put your rook on somewhere else on the second round. What's the time situation? So they actually
Yeah, very close
but
on time.
play 18 moves. Well, I guess on the 18 move, that's pretty low on time already.
Yeah,
I think so. Because I would say we kind of want to have at this point of the game, I probably would prefer to have around 45 minutes at least. I think it's only 80 moves gone.
well, I guess it depends on your opponent's time as well, because you don't get any extra time after move 40, so I don't think it matters so much. Because I guess if you have 45 but your opponent, like,
Yeah.
it depends how much you need to, yeah.
True. Well, I usually my kind of system is like if I have what's the usual like if you have the score sheet, is it usually for 40 or 60 moves?
40.
40. So usually my system is like 20. Before the 20th move, I'm trying to keep 45
Yeah.
minutes. It doesn't always work, but if it does work, it usually reflects on the result, and I'm doing so much better because it's perfect. I kind of have that 45 minutes on first half of the game, and then 45 for the second. So if I can manage that, then I'm a happy lady. But it doesn't always work when I get too anxious.
Yeah, I guess, well, you also don't want to not spend enough time in critical moments as well, so it's good to... well, I guess for me,
Yeah.
I like to just always be ahead of my opponent if I can, but if... well, I would say, like, for endgame, like, save 30% of my time if I can. But it really depends on the game, so I actually don't have too many guidelines. Just try to keep it under 20 minutes for one move and stay on top of my opponents. Like here, I think this is decent time management because both players, it seems like it was like there was a lot happening on in the middle game. Well,
Yeah, true. Well, I kind of felt
yeah.
that's pretty, like, a lot of prep going on here.
Yeah, as long as they were familiar with it, because maybe they didn't expect something, and you need to think back.
Maybe
but
Luke didn't teach Ben enough of the French. I had to spend some time figuring it out. Yes, that's what Luke said, because he was 100%
Yeah.
theory until e5. So Luke, I think it's your fault. Maybe
But
because you're not
also,
teaching
do you
anymore.
think they knew like every single theoretical move, because they might just have had to figure it out if it's
No,
100% theory?
true. But if he plays French so much, no, would you not think that he would already know that?
Well, I don't know all the lines 100% for any of my openings. Do you?
No.
Yeah.
No.
So I don't think
But,
it
like,
matters.
It's good to expect more from other people. So.
Well, but he's like not so different rated to us. Like he's 2100.
But he's more ambitious than us.
Yeah.
Well, I would hope so. At least for me.
Oh, this is
also,
the only
sorry,
line.
I've missed Night Be Free in my chat. I didn't notice they gifted another 5 subs, so thank you. Thanks a lot. And thanks for everyone that's sticking around as well, because I know this is not always your kind of scene, and I'm just happy that for everyone that's in the chat supporting and interacting with us, big appreciation.
Yeah, we've got
OT
3 days.
filming. Oh yeah, sorry, go on.
Oh, no.
I was just reading the comment that RT were filming here today and it will be shown tomorrow on the children's news program at 4 p.m. Oh, let's go. Probably they won't include our stream.
You don't want them to.
No, I don't.
I want them to
very
include.
shy.
Why
'Cause
not?
then all the other Irish people will be like, oh, I know it's scary.
But that's good.
I don't know.
Wait, I'm just gonna quickly look through what games are still being played just so we get. So in the girls under 7s, there's only one game, and it looks like it's gonna finish soon anyway.
Okay.
So White is just a queen up. Maria, you wanna? Yeah, she was leading the tournament with 4 out of 4. But it looks like she's going to lose this game, so she's not going to be on top anymore, depending on how the other girl. Let me just double check. So, the other Turkish girl, Islek or Kumsal. I want to see how she did. Okay, Islek won, which means that now there's only one sole leader in the under 7 girls section. Maria Ioana has lost her lead, but there's still 2 more. I think they have 2 more. Wait, let me just check how many rounds they have. Okay, they actually have 3 more games. But Maria Ioana has a bye tomorrow and Islek has a bye the day after that. So it's very close.
Right. It's very close. And how is the group with Lara doing? Because there was a lot of tight games there, I think, because there was 5 girls that were on the first spot.
Yeah, we can have a look at those games now.
And Lara. We actually haven't looked at Lara's game.
Yeah.
Right? Oh.
Yeah, we haven't had a look yet. Not yet.
Yes. And Lara is our teammate.
Yeah. So, okay, she played this so far in the opening in the tournament already, and I'm sure you're familiar. She plays the Catalan.
Hi. I think I've played her. Oh yeah, okay, I am. Might be a little. But I was preparing for a French. I think both once on her. And then they switched the colors. Like I didn't know that, but they had the opposite color. So then I was kind of so that was a big shock. So that was the whole stress about. That's why I played something.
Oh, this was in the Irish Women's.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I remember. Oh, you had a really nice game. I remember that game.
Well, that's what I thought, and my coach was laughing that I forgot my theory, big time. But
she didn't know what to do either.
Yeah, she didn't know as well, which obviously worked very well for me. But I could get destroyed quite quickly in the opening. But no, it did work out well at the end. But it was very stressful because remember the the girl Alice was playing till the very last minute, and we all didn't know the pairings.
Oh
Like, around
yeah.
that time.
Yeah.
That was a very stressful moment in my life.
Yeah. But it worked out.
So, oh yeah, no, go on.
Yeah, so she's played the Catalan, and I think her opponent played really well in the opening to get to the position that we have now. But I actually do like Black's position.
Oh, the Luke says that it was a beautiful game that he played versus Catalan on weekend.
Yeah, he played in Drogheda, I guess. Have you ever played in that tournament?
No, because is it like far away from Dublin? I'm usually lazy when it comes to tournaments that are outside of Dublin. But I have to start playing some.
It's close enough. It's not too far from Dublin. I think you can just get the train. I think it's only 1 hour, maybe.
Oh, so it's not too bad. So you don't have to stay overnight, do you?
No, well, maybe it would be better, but I don't... Like, we used to stay overnight because from Limerick it's really far, but from Dublin it's a lot closer.
Well, I haven't, but I also was away, so I wasn't able... I was actually been thinking about it. Lara should have taken on before with the bishop. Oh, that's interesting insight. Let's have a look at this. Let me just open the Lara's game.
So on move 20.
Yeah, seconds.
It's in Discord.
Oh, I already have it here. That's fine. Move 20. Okay.
Instead of taking back with the pawn.
Oh, so you think taking with the bishop would be better?
Well, that's what they recommended. I think I would probably take with the pawn, but it makes sense to take with the bishop because then your bishop is closed. Well, okay, my instinct would be taking with the pawn, but now it makes sense to take with the bishop because otherwise there's no way to activate it.
Well, I'm trying to think what would be the advantage of taking with the pawn, because obviously you kind of force black to probably play bishop on b7 or something like that, and you try to put the pressure on b5. But I don't like the bishop on c3 after that.
Yeah.
It's very... I can't see a way for that bishop to come back to the game.
Yeah.
So that would worry me, that this bishop is out. And unless I get something really concrete for that, like winning a pawn, then I would take with the bishop on b4. It seems more natural.
Yeah.
But you have to be scared of the rook on c4 as well, because bishop takes, queen takes, rook on c4, or knight on c4, but rook on c4 as well, and they have... Black has fully open file for the rook. But then the bishop and knight are... Well, the bishop is on a6 is a bit awkward, no?
Yeah, I guess both bishops on a6 and a1 are same.
Because then the b5 is gonna be a little bit weak, because the only defender is the bishop on a6 that only has one square and have nowhere else to move to keep protecting the b5. So I would take with the bishop, but there is a risk to that as well. So I can understand that it's a quite difficult moment to decide on, because you give up the entire file as well. Knight on a4. Yes. Yeah, you can see that's what happened in the game. The bishop on c3 became a weakness kind of straight away. So I was saying that if I would take with the bishop on b4, I'd be scared of giving up the file, but that happened anyway. Even if the bishop was on c3 for a while, then the moment when the bishop went on a1, you can black gain the entire file as well, and the full control.
Yeah, I think that's the big problem about this position. Because the bishop is a little bit uncomfortable, but so is black's bishop as well. But the c file is the biggest problem.
Yes. And in the other combination, if you take on b4, at least what you gain semi-open file on the b file, and then at least you can get some counter attack there. We're trying to put some pressure over there, where otherwise you just close the position, and you don't get any advantage on the a file because the knight on a4 protects it all. So it's black's advantage. I think, in this position. But still, a lot can happen.
Yeah, it's hard to find a move with white because all of your pieces are kind of locked in and tied down to either the rook. So I don't even know, like you can't even move your rook because of rook c2, and if you trade, then you allow these really annoying pawns. Like the b pawn will just take, I assume, and then you just allow... Well, then black just gets a pass pawn. I guess you have one as well, but then b4 I think is a big weakness for white.
Exactly. But I would not underestimate actually the bishop on f1.
Yeah.
Because I feel when that bishop is going to be open and be more, it might actually have a pretty nice strength attacking on the b5. And then maybe Lara can kind of take advantage of the bishop on a6, because that's an awkward bishop. But our bishop on a1 is not better, so is there a way to try to do some pawn break with e4 in the future? Or is that impossible? Because otherwise we're playing without the bishop.
Yeah, I guess I don't really like f3 and e4. I mean, even if you do want to push e4, then d4 becomes weak.
True.
So
I guess.
that would be annoying.
Well, I think I'd say it'd be probably white will be happy when the black will take on c1. There's no other way. Well, unless they come back with rook to c6, because they have to be careful with something like knight on c3. Is that a threat or is that not?
Well, if the knight comes to c3, I'll be so happy to take with the bishop. Oh, you mean for black, for like white to move?
Yes, because I'm thinking. Well, obviously is no, it's white to move.
Yeah.
It's white to move. Okay, sorry. So I think if we play knight on c3, I don't think that works because you just take with the knight. No, I don't think that works because you're attacking the rook on b1 as well. So I'm just thinking if there's any discover attack, but I don't think so. Oh, someone is running on the...
I know.
Playing
You'll see that a lot. Like they're always running up and down. I wish it was colored.
I wonder why. 'Cause sometimes that happens to me or my opponents. When you just play so long and you really need to use the bathroom.
Yeah, but I doubt that. Yeah, they could be low on time.
And then you finish your game. That happens a lot.
Or they're always running when they see their opponent making a move because they get so worried that they're gonna miss something.
Yeah, and this is the moment when everyone is pretty low on time, I think.
Yeah. Also, someone was saying yesterday in an interview that they don't like to walk around because they're too scared their opponent is gonna make a move, like move one of their pieces.
Oh, true. But I wouldn't be worried about that because and you have the DG boards, which obviously there's no way. But sorry, I actually have a chatter in my chat that is asking to have a look at Szymon Starościak game.
Okay.
I don't know what age group is he in. because the doesn't say, but we can have a look. Shimon, it's SZYMON. Open U17.
Okay. So he's playing against Mirak from Turkey.
Okay, let's have a look over here. I'm already a bit more comfortable with using the broadcasting, so I'm finding I have the game here
Okay, great.
as well. Okay. Perfect. So there's a G3 move that was just played by Shimon. That's maybe not the best, but let me just have a look how the game happened. Diana is looking at. I'm looking at my own kind of game here just to have a look. Okay, so what was the opening was the timer now.
Okay, so black went for a queen exchange early on, and then okay, so actually there's an interesting moment on move 19 where so I guess since it's same colored bishops, it looks like white just has the better position because the light square bishop has more mobility and his pawns are on dark squares.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to try and open up some diagonals. So maybe here, like, it was important to take the pawn on a4 just to get a little bit more space with the bishop, because now after bishop c6, white didn't play this, but I guess they played it later on in the next move. But if you play a5, now you block the bishop even more. And since you can't play b4 because of the pawn on a6, then white can play b4, and then white has just a beautiful bishop, and black is left with like a tall pawn on c6.
Yeah, but I wonder, like, a4, what do you think about the a4 move itself? Because you said, I just wonder if there's anything else that would be best to play. There's no way to avoid the in exchange as well.
Yeah. I guess I don't know if we can play f5. Like, maybe we can try something with f5, but
yeah, that's what I would be thinking about trying to, because you have obviously the white square bishop, and you could probably play it, but I don't know.
yeah.
Or even g4.
Yeah.
I feel like in those lines, in the time and up, you have a lot of this king inside attack. But the a4, I'm not so sure, because it's obviously the reason why you play f4. It's to attack on the king side, and then the a4, it's a bit on the other side of the board.
Yeah, I think once the queen. Go. So also, if I was white, I would want to attack the king. But once black plays queen c5, then I would probably shift my plan, because I guess, like, you can still attack the king with g4, king g1, rook g1, king h1, rook g1, but it's not as straightforward as having the queen.
Yeah, exactly. But then, okay, so then they play a4, then the queen exchange, then they shift to the queen side, and they totally block this a6 and b5 pawn.
Yeah, I really like a5 from white. I think that's a great
move.
You? Yeah, because
I'm not so sure.
You fix the black pawns on light squares, and you fix your pawns on dark squares.
In this position, okay, because if you don't want to open the position, it probably probably just holds the position. But then just doesn't make that much sense for me because you choose to shift your attack in your play to the queen side and then you block out the pawns. And then what plan do white actually have in this moment? So that's when I'm just a little bit confused because first there's some attack going on the king side and queen side, and now we're kind of left out with no concrete.
Well, I think this is where Karpov comes in because now you're just squeezing because a5 that's what it aims to just block like any counterplay from. Now like the bishop on d7 is just completely out of the game and you can just like, well, I'm not sure if you want to play rook c5, but it seems like the endgame is much better for white.
What do you think about the h4 move? It seems very interesting, actually.
Yeah, same idea. Just blocking. It's same as a5.
True, and then we also have the white square bishop that protects any like just kind of g4 squares in case the rook would try to use that square. Well, I probably haven't played g3 before, but that's pretty good.
Wait, but after king d6, why didn't white just take on h5? That's just a free pawn.
After
maybe
king on...
move 28, like just 2 moves earlier.
Oh, yes, why didn't they just take? Were they scared of rook on h8? But then...
Yeah, but then you can just trade rooks, and let's say the bishop takes back, you can just play g4, or you don't even need to trade, you can just play g4.
G4, yes, but then, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. And then f5, maybe they were scared that the